What if I told you that when the sky went black at midday over Golgotha, it wasn't just an eclipse? What if behind the dust, the cries, and the Roman spears, two of the mightiest angels in existence were standing guard? We've all heard the crucifixion story. The nails, the thorns, the jeering crowds. But hidden beyond human eyes, a cosmic battle was raging, and at the heart of it stood Michael, the warrior of heaven, and Uriel, the flame of revelation. Why did the heavens grow silent? Why did the veil of the temple tear? And why would two archangels, who had fought dragons and carried the secrets of God, stand powerless at the foot of the cross? Because what happened on that hill wasn't just execution. It was strategy. It was heaven's plan unfolding through silence, sacrifice, and unimaginable authority. Today, we're going beyond the surface of Calvary. We're re-stepping into the unseen dimension to witness what Michael and Uriel did when Jesus hung between earth and eternity. Stay with me until the end, because the lesson buried in this story might just change the way you see your own struggles. The Bible says that at noon, darkness covered the land for 3 hours. This wasn't a storm. It wasn't an eclipse. It was as if creation itself mourned. But more than that, it was a signal. The spiritual veil between heaven and earth was trembling. Angels watched in silence. Demons circled, waiting to celebrate. Lucifer himself believed his millennial plan had finally succeeded. And then, two figures appeared in the spiritual dimension above Calvary. Michael, the blazing commander of heaven's armies. Uriel, the guardian of divine mysteries. They didn't interfere physically, but their presence alone changed the atmosphere. Why darkness? Because light was preparing to be reborn. Sometimes God covers what he's doing in shadow, not to hide defeat, but to set the stage for glory. Michael, the war angel. Michael's presence is always terrifying. Revelation calls him the general who fought the dragon. Daniel saw him battling for nations. And here, his sword glowed with the names of God, drawn not to strike, but to guard. He was positioned like a shield, ensuring no demonic spirit altered the covenant being signed in blood. Uriel, the light bearer. Uriel's role was different. His very name means God is my light. Ancient texts describe him as the angel of wisdom and prophecy. While Michael enforced, Uriel revealed the cross. Uriel ensured that the meaning of Jesus' sacrifice would echo into eternity, awakening Paul on the Damascus road, inspiring gospel writers, opening the eyes of nations that didn't yet exist. Together, Michael and Uriel stood over the dying king. They couldn't move unless commanded. They couldn't fight unless released. And yet their silent presence was a sign. This was no ordinary death. Let's pause. Why does this matter for us? Because sometimes, life feels exactly like Calvary. Dark, silent, abandoned. You pray, and heaven seems quiet. You fight, and you feel alone. I once spoke with a woman, let's call her Sarah, who lost her husband unexpectedly. She said, it felt like the sun had gone out. Like I was walking in total darkness. But she also described moments when she felt an unseen strength keeping her from collapsing. She couldn't see it, but she knew something. Or someone was holding her up. That's Michael at the cross. That's Uriel shining in silence. The spiritual world is not empty when you're suffering. Heaven is active even when your eyes see nothing. When Jesus cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me? It wasn't just despair. It was a signal across dimensions. Michael's sword trembled in his hand. Uriel's fire flared. They knew. This was the moment, written in the eternal scroll before the world began. Jesus gave an invisible command. Hold the line. Guard what is mine. To the crowd it looked like weakness. To the demons, it sounded like silence. But to Michael and Uriel, it was the roar of a king. Michael locked the heavens like a fortress. No demon would twist this sacrifice. Uriel unleashed waves of divine revelation that would ripple through history, ensuring that humanity would understand what really happened that day. Sometimes the most powerful orders come whispered in pain. And sometimes victory is hidden inside apparent defeat. Jesus breathed his last. The earth quaked. The veil tore. To human eyes, it was over. But beneath their feet, something unimaginable began. Jesus descended into Sheol, the realm of the dead. Not as a victim, but as a king. Michael and Uriel followed, not to protect, but to witness. Ancient prisoners, the fallen watchers, chained giants of the flood, rebellious spirits, trembled. For the first time, holiness walked into their darkness. Psalm 24 prophesied it. Lift up your heads, O gates, and be lifted up, you everlasting doors, that the King of glory may come in. Jesus didn't knock. He commanded. Gates groaned. Chains fell. Michael declared, This transfer is lawful. Uriel unfurled a scroll of light, releasing mysteries hidden for ages. Abraham, Moses, David, they saw the Lamb. They rose in glory. And then, the keys. Jesus stretched out his hand. Death had no choice but to surrender. The king now carried the keys of death and Hades. Resurrection didn't start at the tomb. It started in Sheol, when Jesus conquered death from the inside out. What do we learn from Michael and Uriel at the cross? That God's silence is not absence. Even when the world mocks, heaven is on assignment. That victory often looks like weakness before it's revealed. Jesus' endurance was his weapon. That revelation always follows darkness. Uriel's light proves that what feels hidden today may shine tomorrow. So if your life feels like Golgotha, dark, hopeless, abandoned, remember, angels are holding the line. The king is still in command. And resurrection begins, not when you escape the tomb, but when you endure the cross. Now I want to hear from you. Which part of this story struck you the most? The darkness at noon, the angels at the cross, or Jesus storming the gates of death? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because next time, we'll uncover another mystery you won't believe.